Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden.
Hi you guys. Hey, we're here in lieu of our normal Saturday morning live garden chat. So we're really sorry that we missed you all live today. We had a conference today.
Yeah, but happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
And today we are going to be talking about a topic that Thy Nguyen actually sent to us as part of the August Audience Challenge. And congratulations, T.
Congrats, T.
Yep. Yay! You know, we have your email. We're gonna get back to you about the prizes and we'll figure all that out a little bit later. But today's topic is
cutting back perennials and annuals mid-summer.
Yeah.
And geez, we really need to do this right now. So we thought, what better timing? T wants to learn how to do this, the what, the why, the when, the how, all the parts in between. And we have 4 plants that we're going to demonstrate this procedure for you.
Yep.
Or not procedure, but what would we call it? Just cutting, pruning,
skills,
right?
skills, know-how, you know, the normal stuff. Yeah, we've already got 1 plant over and above those 4 that we've already done this to, so we'll show you that and what's going on there.
So let's get started.
Yeah. So guys, you're probably thinking, well, would I want to cut any of my plants back in midsummer? And it's a great question, and you're right to question that question too. It's like, do I want to do that or don't I want to do that? And some plants you can and you should do that because it reinvigorates them and it actually forces some of the plants to reflower when they're kind of petering out. And also it keeps the plants healthy and vigorous. And so these are 2 reasons why you want to cut some plants back. And so there's some plants in your garden you're not going to want to cut back. You're going to leave them alone, like your hydrangeas, like even your lilies. But I mean, like this common yarrow over here, we could cut this back and it's just going to rebloom. We're going to give that a shave and we're going to get all those dead blooms off there and it's going to reinvigorate that plant to come roaring back and even more beautiful. So before we get into what we're going to do today and, you know, basically get in and cut these plants back to reinvigorate them and give them all that new growth and the beautiful blooms, I want to tell you, I like to use Corona Classic Cut Bypass hand pruners. These are my favorites. And you can use these too, link's down below for those, or you can use other types of pruners, either bypass like these hand pruners, or even shears if you have a very large plant. Now in this situation, we're going to use these because we want to be selective on this plant with our cuts because it's a young plant. We just actually planted this a couple months ago and a hard prune on this plant is not going to do it any good. A little bit of advice. If you just planted a plant this spring, don't cut it hard, don't prune it back hard anytime this year because you don't want to stress it out. It's establishing itself. So just keep that in mind when you're going through and doing this. So with all that, let's get to it, right? Let's get down to business. So T and everybody else out there that wants to do this, what you're going to want to do on this common yarrow is you're going to want to come back and you can grab a couple of these old blooms and you can just grab them like this and you can see right here, here's some new blooms coming in. Here's the old blooms. I'm just going to take these and I can just do that. And it's kind of a shearing effect. It's not as selective as you might want to be. If you want to be more selective and just come in like this and just cut, you know, down here like that, that's totally cool. But if you got a bunch of them in here and you just want to really get them, you can just cut them. It's okay. They needed to come off anyway. So we're going to go down here. I don't see any new blooms there. So, but look at all this. We've got some open ones really just coming in. We've got some that are already blooming out. These guys right here, but we still got some older ones over here. And so I'm going to come in here. I don't see any new blooms on this guy. So I'm just going to come down and get them right here. The fun thing about the way I'm doing this too, and you can do it as well, is when you start really grabbing these stems and you start cutting them, you can get a general sense of where you want the plant to start growing from again. And this, you might not know it, but this is actually going to help shape the plant and the flowers that keep coming up later on. And you're going to have a much tighter growth pattern and it's going to have more of a shape to it. If you don't want that, then make sure not to shear, kind of like what I'm doing here. Do very selective pruning and only prune out what you have, what you need to, like on this right here. If you didn't want to do the shearing, you'd come in here and you would just cut it right there. So right down to the next leaf right here where that bud's starting to break, you would cut it right there. Now for what we're doing today, I'm going to cut the rest of that off because I want that shape. I like that shape. It's going to be more of a mound. I like that. So I'll do that one there. And now look at that. Doesn't that look a lot fresher? Now removing all those blooms, it just looks tidier, and also we remove some leaf material, so it's going to reinvigorate the plant to reestablish some of that biomass. It's going to be awesome.
Okay, you guys, here's our next plant. This is one of our favorite plants in our whole garden. So we made a whole bunch of more of them by taking cuttings. So this is one of our cuttings of our English lavender plant. And we love it, you guys. It's getting so big. And like Sean said, this is still a very, very young plant. This isn't even a year old, I don't think, at this point, because we took these cuttings probably in August, maybe September of last year. Unless I'm mistaken, we took a couple rounds of cuttings. So just to be really clear, not all lavenders are gonna rebloom. This probably won't rebloom, especially because it is a young plant, but it's possible it could rebloom with a few new flowers. So we wanna go ahead and give it a little bit of a haircut, but we're not gonna be too aggressive with it because I actually see a brand new bloom right here on the outside. So we definitely don't wanna cut that off. See that?
Oh yeah.
Now this has actually been in bloom for a really long time, probably since early June, or maybe mid-June, but we're gonna go ahead and just selectively prune this, but there is another way. And what you can do, if you notice all of these are just spent flowers here in the middle, kind of all over. I don't see any new ones.
Yeah.
So I could just grab a handful of these, you guys, you really can't hurt these, and just give them a haircut, just right across the top. Okay. So I took it down to about this level because we want to kind of make this into a ball shape as well, because part of cutting back this lavender is to just kind of shape it at this point. Okay, so I'm going to continue here and I'm going to kind of follow this guideline that I already cut here to kind of this line. I don't want to do a hard prune and go any further down into the biomass of this plant because it's young and we don't want to damage it or anything. Now, here's a questionable piece. This is a brand new piece that probably will flower, but why leave this way up here if you're cutting these down here? So I'm gonna go ahead and just snip that. And we're just gonna grab the rest of these and just quickly shear them off. Just kind of keeping the shape that we want. And you know, again, at this point, we'll see what happens. Now, where's that new one? It's out there. Unfortunately, actually, that's kind of taller now, huh? Here's another one coming in. Okay, so let's finish this up. Again, just kind of cutting to the shape that we like. We're gonna leave this one because actually here's a new one too.
Yay!
So yay. Let's get the rest of these, you guys. And again, let us know if you have any questions, T or anybody else watching this. If you have certain plants in mind that you wanted us to cut back, we may not have them in our yard, but we can help you with the care. Okay, you guys, we're gonna leave it at that. We like the shape. We have new guys. Now we can really see a whole bunch of new blooms that are coming in. And I'm gonna take back a little bit of what I said because we're gonna leave this random outlier. It's gonna be really tall, but it's a new flower coming in and I hate to cut that. So I'm gonna leave that.
Yay,
so
good
we're
job.
Done. Okay, you guys, we have 2 more English lavenders right here in our new terrace area, and these are also both cuttings. So we're super excited to see that, but I'm gonna do a quick cleanup on both of these, just like we talked about on the other plant I showed you. So here we go.
So guys, plant number 3, we have Salvia hot lips here, and this is a beautiful plant. It's been here for quite a few years. We had to prune it out earlier this year and really thin it out because it was getting really tight. It had some odd growth on it, but now it's looking a little bit better. Right now is a good time for us to trim this back. You can see it's still blooming, but what we want to do is get rid of some of this legginess. It's getting kind of leggy, right? So we're gonna take it down probably to about here. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take these head shears, and these are Corona manual head shears. The link will be down below for these. And I'm just gonna start going to town on this and get this done. So if you've ever hedged anything, you know too, a little pro tip here, go for the sides first. And that way when you do the top, it won't be, nothing will hold it up and bring it down. Bring down the plant as you're trying to cut it, because once it does that, you keep making cuts, and your plant is going to end up looking real goofy. So, and be careful when you're using these, because these can get really sharp, and you should be wearing gloves. I'm not wearing gloves because I know enough not to do anything goofy, but wear gloves when you're using these because these can still cut through gloves. You want to have that extra layer of protection. Oh, that smells good. Man. It's one of our favorite plants just because of how it smells. It's so aromatic. And don't be afraid to stop cutting maybe midway through and kind of move some of the debris off if you want, because then you'll get a true sense of where you made your cuts. Is anything too high? Is anything too low? And then you can keep cutting as soon as you get to that point and you feel it's clear enough. Oh yeah, that's looking so much better. Man. What do you think, honey? Is it looking good?
I think it looks awesome. I love this one. Another one of our favorite plants. I mean, which ones aren't at this point, right? And like Sean said, we've already cut this back once. It fully rebloomed in probably early July, maybe mid-July. Hummingbirds just love this plant. And we're hoping for another fresh set of blooms.
I know it's going to happen.
What was that?
I know it's going to happen.
I know it's going to happen. I know. Yep. This thing will just keep blooming and blooming right up to the frost and beyond a little bit. So.
Oh yeah. All right, I think we got a good deal here. Let me step back. Good thing to do also when you've been pruning with the head shears. Take a step back and see, you know, what the shape of it is. Does it have a nice line to it? Is it uneven? Do you need to come back in and shave a couple more pieces off to get that look you want? Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
I like it. Oh, it smells so good. I can smell it over here.
It gives it such a different look, just having that shaping done and that trim done. Awesome. So guys, next up is Calibrachoa. This is one of two pots that we have. This is beautiful. And Allison remembers the name of this. I can't remember the name.
This is called Watermelon Punch from Proven Winners. It's Super Bells.
Oh, this is just a gorgeous plant. You know, about a month ago, this whole plant was covered in all of these small little petunia-like looking flowers. And now you can see it's kind of petered out. It's slowed down. And this is one of the plants that you can cut right now and basically give it a haircut and be a little aggressive with it. You don't have to be, but you can. And it's gonna reinvigorate the plant to come back even more with more growth and more flowers. So that's what we're gonna do here today.
So does it matter how far down we cut off the stem or on the stem there? Or?
Yeah, good question, honey. I think what we're gonna need to do here is just make sure that we leave enough green for the plant to keep photosynthesizing and to reestablish that growth. So that's why I'm just kind of willy-nilly coming in here and really having a whack attack on it. But I'm not going too far down into the growth canopy of this because I don't want to take away the plant's ability to really photosynthesize. We don't want to take that away from the plant. We want to make sure that it does have that ability. Oh yeah.
Oh, it looks so small and sad.
It does. It's really getting a little bit of a whack attack here, but again, we're just going to keep it fertilized, we're going to keep it watered properly, and it's going to come right back.
That's right. I'm glad you mentioned fertilizing, Sean, because that's something that after we cut all these plants back, you can add some fertilizer and really get those plants some good nutrition, right?
That's right. You might not be able to see it here, guys, but there's some places in here where this is one of the old blooms. You can see it's already gone to seed, the flower's gone, and so we want to get rid of that. And so we're clearing the way for the new blooms. I mean, look at that right there.
Oh, look at that.
There you go. Yay. There's some new ones coming right in. It was all below everything we just removed. So we got to keep cutting here to bring all that back up and reinvigorate our little plant here.
Oh, I love it. The problem is we have Calibrachoa all over our yard, so we've got a few more plants to cut.
Yeah, well, and a lot of them, the other ones we have, they've overwintered, the ones I'm thinking of, and they might not need a prune right now because they're kind of we replanted them over in a certain area in our dry shade area, and I think they look like they're doing pretty darn good over there. We'll go take a look at them.
That hose, sorry about that. Yeah. Right there in the landscape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't mind our brown grass either. We're just we're in a drought here, so we're just kind of letting it go.
Yep, it's dormant.
Yeah.
It's not dead or anything. So, and plus we have a plan for our grass. So we're going to talk to you about that in a later video.
Oh, I know that's going to be really fun.
Yep. So there you go, guys. We're just going to try and make a few little extra cuts in here to even out our plant. But when you make these cuts like this, make sure to try to get that cut material out of there so it doesn't sit in there and just rot. You're probably not going to get everything, and that's okay, but try to get as much of it as you can.
I love that you just left this like 1 or 2 right here.
Okay,
like, so we remember what it looks like.
Yeah.
Until it comes back.
There you go.
Wow.
Yep. Quite a haircut. You know, kind of like me. I think this plant likes it high and tight. So guys, we have a smaller one right here that we need to do, and then here's another one just like the one we showed you and we just worked on. We're gonna cut these 2 back real quick, and so we're just gonna get to it. So guys, we're out in our front yard. We were gonna show you how to prune back and cut back petunias, and these are the petunias we had in mind, just in the outskirts here. And we've got some verbena kind of mixed in. The petunias are kind of taken over, so we could show you how to cut that back from that way and get the verbena more light, more space to grow. But we're looking at the petunias, they're still flowering really well.
I know.
They really don't need to be cut back yet. But once these actually start flowering less and less, they start slowing down, and they get leggier, then they get that leggy kind of growth, that spindly kind of growth. We will come out here and prune these, but right now we really don't think it really needs it.
Yeah, and we're kind of like, we don't want to cut the color off because it's so vibrant and beautiful.
It doesn't need it.
I mean, if anything, like maybe through here, right? There's a little bit of like...
Well, maybe, but anything we cut here is going to take this off. It's going to take that
know.
color. So, and when we
love
do
this
come
cut.
through and we do cut this eventually in the next couple weeks, we'll treat it just like we treated the Calibrachoa. Maybe not cut it back so hard like you saw us cut back the Calibrachoa, but definitely cut back and expose new growth and get those old blooms out. So, or the seed pods that have developed. So, yeah. So, sorry guys, we're not going to cut on this today.
All right, you guys, since we're not going to cut back the petunia right now, because we got out there and decided we don't want to lose all that color yet, it's not ready, we noticed on the way over to our Shasta Daisies that are coming up next that our Campanula can use a haircut. So we're going to add this one in as a bonus. Now this is a dwarf Campanula, and we just love this. Look at those beautiful purple cup-shaped blooms.
Little purple, light purple blooms there.
We love this. We use this as a border plant. You can see actually it's all the way down, almost all the way down. It's a nice low mounding plant, and these bloom like multiple times through the summer if you keep them deadheaded. So great example for you, T, and anybody else watching. So what we decided to do in order to kind of reinvigorate growth is we're going to cut about half of this biomass. Now don't worry about cutting the leaves, and you might also cut a few of the blooms. I always hate doing that, but they're probably on their way out anyway. So I'm just going to grab a handful of this and literally just cut it. Plus it'll take less time.
Yep.
Believe me, I've come in here with pruners before and individually cut stems and flowers, and it takes hours.
Yeah, it takes a while. This is so much faster, and you're not going to hurt the plant at all.
This guy is a tough, like, grower. Now, I don't know if we've mentioned, and I apologize that we always get ahead of ourselves. We forgot to mention that we're in zone 8B. So a lot of the plants we're showing you so far, except for the Calibrachoa and the Petunias, are all perennials in our zone. So hopefully they are in yours too. So bye-bye, old plants. You might notice a big gap back here because we had, oh, and it's better, because we cut down our crocosmia recently, cut back those stems. They all ran their cycle, and they just look kind of yucky by the end of the season.
So guys, for our last plant, we wanted to show you Shasta daisies are another one that you can cut back in midsummer. And now we're not going to actually cut these back because we've already come in and cut them down. We've already come in and deadheaded them. We don't feel like we want to cut on them again. You can see they have a natural shape here, or kind of a natural shape with some of these stems. But we've got flower buds that did develop after the previous flowers withered and died. We're still waiting for these to open up. We'll be frank with you, a lot of times these do not open up. After we deadhead them, they're done. I mean, basically it just keeps photosynthesizing, but we don't see any further flowers from them. So we're hopeful we're going to see more flowers from these buds that you can see on here. So guys, if you want to see how and why we deadheaded these Shasta daisies, we have a video that's all about deadheading Shasta daisies. You can check out the link down below. It'll be down in the description for you. Also, Shasta daisies, there's cultivars that do come back. They are cut and come agains, what's known as cut and come agains, and they do reflower over and over and over again. This particular cultivar, all of these that we have, they don't. And so some do and some don't. So you just got to find some that will do that if that's something you want to have continuously flowering and developing in your garden.
Okay, you guys, that's a wrap for today. And we covered lots of plants. We covered annuals and perennials, including lavender, hot lip salvia, Calibrachoa. What else did we do?
Yarrow.
Oh, yarrow.
Yeah, petunias. Yep, I think you said campanula.
And campanula.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, if you have any other questions about other plants that we didn't cover here, leave your comments and questions down below, and we'll definitely get back to you on those specific plants.
And thank you to Thy Nguyen for suggesting this topic, because I know this will be helpful.
Thank you, T.
We're excited for others that need help on the same topic. So thank you, T.
Yep, in lieu of an actual live this Saturday, this was so much fun, you guys, and we're so happy and glad that we were able to do this for you.
We are. And you know what? We'll be live next week and the week after that and the week after that. So please come join us every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time right here on YouTube. We have an awesome audience that shows up every week with fun facts and comments and plan ideas, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we do. Hey, and you know, next week, Graham Thomas, you're the winner for next week's topic, which is all going to be about making more plants.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Yeah.
So, and we will be live for that one.
We'll be live. Yay.
So we'll be live. Hey guys, if you have any comments or questions about what we did today or anything else out there, definitely leave your comments and questions down below for us and we'll get right back to you. And make sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already so you get updates on our latest videos.
And we're thankful that you're here, that you're watching with us, and we'll see you next time, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.